It's time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure. So let's step outside and hit the trail.
Welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal, everybody. I'm host Mike Adams, sitting in the cabin tonight with Dan DeFaw. Before we get started, we want to help you save some money.
That's right, folks. Don't forget to use our promo codes to save that money. And let's start off with buckbaits.com. That's right, the brick and mortar store of Buck Baits down at Sterling Heights, Michigan at 15 and Dodge Park. Go over there. If you're on the website, buckbaits.com, use the promo code UNJ20. That will get you 20% off your order.
For those of you who are looking for Easy Cut products, make sure you go to easycutproducts.com. And when you're there, use the UNJ promo code UNJ15 off to save 15% off your order.
And let's not forget Lincoln Roan over at packermax.com. It's never too early, never too late to think about the Packer Max. Go on over to packermax.com, use the promo code UNJ25. That'll give you $25 off your order over at Packermax Outdoors.
For those of you looking for some new firearms and firearm products, make sure you go over to theislandarmory.com. While you're there shopping, use the promo code UNJ10 to save 10% off your order there.
If you shot that bird of a lifetime and you want it mounted, don't forget Troublesome Creek Taxidermy. We've had them live on the show. We've talked to them. You want to get 10% off your order, go to Facebook, go to troublesome.creek.7, find their website. If you go to our website, UNJ, make sure to click on the button to download the form. You get 10% off over there using the code UNJ10.
Looking for that game call, whether it be a squirrel, whether it be goose, duck, deer, make sure you go to JPO Game Calls. Look for them at jpogamecalls.com, and while you're there shopping, use the UNJ10 promo code to save 10% off your order.
And Miller Deer Tracking, the man that seems to never sleep during deer season. Get 20% off your next deer tracking using the promo code UNJ20. Look for Miller Deer Tracking on Facebook or give him a call over at 810-240-4891.
Looking for the hottest new plastics to take on the water, whether it be hard water or soft water? Make sure you go over to southernindianabaitco.com. While there, use the UNJ promo code UNJ10 to save 10% off your order.
Deer Camp Coffee, folks. We drink it every night on the show. You want to try it? You can go to the brick and mortar store at 15 and Dodge Park at Deer Camp itself, or go to deercampcoffee.com. Also use our promo code UNJ10. You get 10% off your order. And don't forget, get a bag of the UNJ medium roast blend there as well.
All right, Danny, where's our live view camera to look from tonight?
Looking straight down from St. Ignace, straight down Mackinac Bridge, where it's 27 degrees and a high wind warning.
A high wind warning.
A high wind warning. It's blowing up to 34 miles an hour.
Well, that's quite a blow.
It is. And you know what? It's interesting you may have talk about that and how windy it gets up on that bridge. Reason why we're using Mackinac this week. Friend of mine and coworker of mine this week is going to be doing where they take vintage snowmobiles of 25 years plus, and they're going to be crossing the Mackinac on their four-wheel wheel kits.
Oh, they put wheel kits on and ride them across the bridge.
Yep.
Well, that's cool.
I know, right? So they're going to do that this Saturday. So if you're interested, go check out top of the Lake Snowmobile Museum. It's in Nobbinway.
Okay.
So go check them out. They're going to be doing that this Saturday, December 10th at 9 a.m. So if you're interested, go watch some vintage snowmobiles, cross the Mackinac Bridge, and go visit the snowmobile.
There you go.
Museum.
So you going up?
No.
You don't know, or
no? No, I'm not going up.
No, you're not going up.
I am not going up.
Okay, I thought maybe he's going to break out a sled. You got a sled?
You know what? We had this conversation last night. Actually, we're talking about sleds versus four-wheelers, and we used to have a sled. We used to take a sled snowmobiling all the time.
Okay.
And for some reason, it seemed to work out, but as I got older, and we didn't have as much snow, it seemed, in November.
Right.
And we'd take it, and it would sit there.
Right.
And so eventually we ended up buying some ATVs, and we used those instead.
Adam Wynn said that he crossed last year in a high wind warning and had to use an escort to get across.
Yes. I tell you what, a little story about that. We're traveling up one night to the cabin, my cousin Brian and I, and we had to have an escort. So they pulled us all over, waited for 10 cars or whatever it was, and then the lead truck got in front of us, and he started off heading northbound down the bridge, right-hand lane. It was all right. We're going, 20, 25, taking it slow, high winds. And then he started to veer to the right. And then he bumped off the tube bumper.
Yeah.
Yeah. He bumped off those.
A little catch rail.
Yeah. We're like, what's he doing? And he did it like 2 times.
Yeah.
And it was kind of nerve-wracking going, we're hoping nothing's wrong with him, but it was just one of those things. We're being escorted over and we're all supposed to follow this guy?
Yeah.
It was not a good feeling.
I could see why.
Right? So how have you been?
Been working a lot.
Yes, unfortunately you had to work Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we've had some issues at work that we're dealing with, and we're shorthanded again, and that means weekends and holidays and whenever they need extra people, which is just about every other day.
You're that extra peoples.
We're pulling some double duty, so yeah.
Exactly, and well, I guess Uncle Sam's gonna like you.
Oh yeah, he loves it.
Right?
Yeah. I work twice as much and I get half the pay.
For sure. You sit there and you put in those hours and you just see that number disappear. And you're like, you're welcome.
Yep. Thanks.
So, but we didn't know what we were going to talk about tonight, but we were going to talk a little bit starting with deer and going with the deer numbers and talking about that and what we're seeing. It looks like we're probably on track for a normal.
Well, let's just see.
Where are we at? Because this is the new thing. We can pull it right up on our phones.
I did it right before the show started. I pulled this up at 7:25 p.m. State of Michigan right now. 264,590 registered. So we're now into what? Today's the 7th. So we're into, muzzleloader season starts this weekend, I do believe, in certain areas. We're back into archery season. So, yeah, things are slowing down. So, we might hit 300,000. I don't know. What do you think?
I think so. It's kind of looking that way.
So
now, when what's nice about this, you go on, you get the app. We talked about this when you went in and we registered our harvest, which was actually pretty easy. But as I bring it up, as fast as it goes. So right now, let's see at a touch of a button, the 3 top counties now for bucks is Mount Calm, Sanilac, and Jackson.
Okay.
Actually, I think...
that's Mount Calm's kind of west.
Yep. And then
Sandlak's up in the thumb, and then Jackson's down central lower.
And I think Newaygo and Lapeer, we're up there, but I think Jackson has overtaken those.
Okay.
Ooh, Saginaw's a big one, too, as well.
Yeah. A lot of farmland, all those places.
Right. And then for antlerless, we're looking at Newaygo, Sanilac, and Lapeer.
Okay.
So it almost looks like buck-wise, they're almost taking $2 for every doe in Mount Calm. It's a little bit closer. Oh, in Sanilac, it's about the same, 2 for 1. Newaygo's actually pretty close. They're about 1,000 off. And Lapeer's about 1,000 off.
Well, I was looking last week at one point, and curiosity got me. I'm like, is there any counties that had more does taken than bucks? Or as, like right at the same level? And I think there was only 2 counties where does outnumbered the bucks, and it was basically 1-to-1. We're talking like less than 100.
Oh, okay.
Between them.
Right.
So, yeah. But most counties are 2-to-1, 3-to-1. So, but there's this, this experiment that it's not experiment. I mean, they're using it now, but we've asked for this for a long time, and now that it's implemented, it's nice to be able to take a quick look and see where things lay, see where the deer are being taken at. And there was something, I don't know, did we show this last week?
It'll be interesting to see how fast the at the end of the seasons, because I think we go into
Did I show this
January.
map last week?
Yes, you did.
Okay, then I don't need to show it again. I couldn't remember.
It'll be interesting to see how quickly the tallies come back in the new year.
Yeah.
When they say, hey, this is what we did for the year.
Right.
I think our last season ends in January, the urban hunts.
Yeah, like the first, second week, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how far they go. Maybe they go with the whole month. I'm not sure.
Right.
That's the one down in the southeastern part of the state of Michigan.
Yeah,
lower.
the urban hunt there. And but hey, we did our part. We signed up. It just... Unfortunately, it's just kind of not the same. There was a place in Escanaba where you could stop if you wanted to. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you could have got a patch or not. Cause
I think these are all by buying them off their webpage, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so...
And they're not... Remember, we had this discussion before. These are not successful hunter patches.
Yeah, they're conservation patches.
Yeah, they're deer management cooperator patches now.
Like how they do the turkey.
Exactly. So yeah.
Anyway, I think we're on the right track.
I think these $8 is what they were?
Yep.
$8. So.
8 for those and 6 for the turkey ones.
Okay.
So, I think we're on our right track. Let's do it.
I wonder if we're going to do that with the deer patches. Not the deer, I mean the bear patches.
You know what? I bet you that I wouldn't doubt it if they did.
It'd be interesting. I don't know anybody that went bear hunting this year, so if anybody out there is listening and you bear hunt in Michigan, did you get a successful bear hunter patch or was it a cooperator patch? Just curious to see how that all shook out because really don't know. I haven't heard anything about those.
Well, this Saturday, Mark Coleman hopes to get out, and if you do, give us a report. I hope everything goes well. Hope you seen a few nice Indiana bucks getting tagged.
And every Tuesday, he seems to have Trail Cam Tuesday.
Trail Cam Tuesday, that's right.
Go over to his page and check it out.
Go see Mark
Adam
Coleman.
Wynn says, bring on the ice. Speaking of ice on the water,
matter of fact, hey,
I was kayaking this weekend.
Segue.
I was kayaking this weekend. We went out, was that Sunday? Saturday. I can't remember which day it was now. I think it was Sunday. And we hit one of the local rivers close by.
Did you hit any ice?
Yeah, there was a little bit of ice.
Was there?
There was. Matter of fact,
What time did you get out there?
Right before sunset.
Okay.
4:00, we got to the boat launch. We went to Frankenmuth, went to the Cass River. There was really no current on that river to speak of. Actually, it was the way the wind was blowing. The current was actually going back upstream. But we got on the water. We put Christmas lights on the boat. We had a good time. All Christmassy. Put a little Santa Claus on front of hers.
Right.
Nancy had one on hers, and
So
we
you
had
got
Santa hats on.
Did you staple antlers to the little Murphy?
Murphy didn't go. It was a little too cold for him.
Okay.
So, no, we bundled up, had all of our, she had her dry gear on. I had a couple extra layers of my wet gear on. And we got down the river a little bit. We didn't go real far. We wanted to go downtown, go under the bridges, go down by the dam, take some pictures of the lights and come back. But on the way down, the sun is setting. It's basically set at the point where we hit the ice. And, up along the shore on the south side of the river, it was out in the water probably 10, 15 feet.
Really?
On the one side. It's the only patch of ice I saw. And as she was going by, she took her paddle and was, trying to chunk at it. And it gives some good resistance. I was like, "Ooh, that's a lot thicker than I thought."
Yeah. I didn't think we'd have that thick of ice.
Yeah. So there was ice on that river, but that's the only place I saw it.
Okay.
So
Did you get a picture of your lights?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's on Facebook. Go to my page.
I
You
know.
can see them. So
Hey,
Billy Hoffman, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yes, Billy Hoffman. I'm going to quote you here in a little bit, Billy Hoffman, when we talk about those boots in the next segment. But just getting out and doing like next up is ice fishing. It's kind of been a weird warm.
It has. It's been just warm enough to keep ice off the water in most of the places. We're not seeing any big ice anywhere yet. Obviously, up north it's probably a lot colder in the UP. And Adam said he's heading up to Gladstone second week of January, so he'll be up on there. That's the big water right there.
Yeah,
right?
he's gonna go up onto the bay, I think.
So
if there's ice, I last year I was up there in February. And literally, it took one day, and the ice blew out.
Okay.
And that's kind of a scary. We walked it.
Oh, that's right.
And when I went out with Denise, we must have walked
a couple hundred yards out,
half-mile out.
Okay.
It's like, tomorrow we'll do some ice fishing. All right.
Come back and there's no ice.
Next morning, wake up and I'm seeing waves. It's like, oh yeah, we're not going ice fishing.
It's on its way to
it was
Minnesota.
it was heading south. So
you were on Lake Michigan.
Yeah, I was on
you
Lake
weren't on
Michigan.
Superior. Okay.
No, I was on Lake
So it was
Michigan.
headed towards Wisconsin.
South. Yeah, it was like, wow. What Mother Nature can do in a matter of hours is just amazing.
Right. Troublesome Creek Taxidermy on tonight, watching with us, who has sent us this fine mount right here. I want to give a quick shout out to him. I actually saw a ton of ducks and geese when we hit the river there in Frankenmuth. The ducks were coming in, they were landing, and I mean it was just like I thought we were on an aircraft carrier because man they were just dumping, dump.
Really?
Dump. Yeah,
I
it
tell
was
you
pretty
what,
cool watching them come in with the sunset behind them.
Any open body of water, there's a lot of ducks on it right now.
Yeah, if I wasn't rigging the kayak, I should have been down there taking some photos because it was just beautiful. And then as we headed up and we got past that ice shelf, there on the side, there was probably 150, 200 geese, and they took off and flew out. I got a little video.
Really?
Of that, yeah.
So, that's awesome.
But if you guys are waterfowlers and you're looking for a place to get some taxidermy work done and get your bird back within the year, which nowadays is unheard of, get a hold of Troublesome Creek Taxidermy. You got the link on our page.
Yep, go to our page, check out the link, get a hold of him, talk with him. He'll walk you through how to take care of it, how to get it properly shipped to him. And then, when we had him on the show and we unveiled it, we unboxed it, how he shipped it up here, and get that taken care of. But
use that form to save some money too.
Yep, absolutely. And then get your duck to last a lifetime.
Adam Wins, are you south, or were you south of
I
Escanaba?
was in Bark River, which is south of Escanaba, half hour.
Okay.
Yep, which was really cool. I think, Bark River, yeah. And, but yeah, like I said, Mother Nature is just an amazing feat.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and take our first break here. We come back. We want to talk about what you put on your feet tonight. So we don't know how long we're going to go. We may run a short show tonight. We run out of stuff to talk about, then we'll wrap it up. But we definitely want to talk about some boots and what you wear out on the water, or not on the water, on the ice, the hard water, or out in the field. So we're going to step outside, take our first break, and we'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has reinvented the way you buy bows.
From now on, you can make the most educated decision possible
by basing your bow choice specifically on your shooting needs and goals.
All you need to do is ask yourself, what kind of shooter am I? What do I want to achieve?
PSE will help find the right category for you.
So, what kind of shooter are you?
Find out at psearchery.com.
Welcome back, second segment of the show. Sitting here in the cabin. You know, last week we didn't have a show. Shame on me. I was supposed to do the live drop, and I forgot. But I got a very good reason. My dad was in town. He came up for Thanksgiving, hung out for a week, and he was actually going to head back home, back down to Alabama, on late Monday night, early Tuesday morning. But with the storms rolling through the south and up into the north country, he decided to wait, and with all the high winds and everything, so he left actually late Wednesday night. So I wanted to stay home and hang out with him. You know,
hey, you never,
that's why we didn't.
That's awesome. That it was perfect timing. It's Thanksgiving. Why not spend time with your family? Troublesome treat.
Yeah.
He did get. So remember, a couple weeks back, we had Carrie Z on, and she was coming to Michigan for the UVA hunt in Saginaw. And it looks like Troublesome Creek did get the 4 birds from that hunt. And he says it won't be long and they'll be heading back home.
Nice. And actually, when those get back to their destination, we want to have Troublesome Creek on, and we want to have 1 or 2 or as many of the girls that went on that hunt that we can get on the show. You know, we might have to make that an adult-only show.
We're going to put a disclaimer on that one right off the bat, because you spent time with them and, you kind of talked with them, and we're going to get them on the show when they get their birds back, and, we might have to... that'll be a great show.
There'll be some words dropped, I'm quite sure. So, but, no, we want to get everybody on. That way we can talk about the process they went through to get the birds to Troublesome Creek, and then have them talk and show the birds
exactly
as well.
And I want to know how that lady did it. Actually, one drove from Colorado and the other one drove from Kansas,
and then Illinois and Wisconsin.
And I want to hear about that story, how their drive was.
Yeah.
That's not just a couple-hour drive.
No, it's not like us just driving up to the bay. So,
right?
But no, I was fortunate to be able to meet them all. Nancy and I went and met them in Midland and had dinner with them and hung out, and I laughed so hard. My belly hurt. I mean, it was just a laugh fest. There's some stories that we're definitely going to drag out of them, because it was a good time.
And what have we been saying? Making memories and
absolutely.
Having a good time. So can't wait for that show. What we wanted to talk a little bit about was during hunting season, bow season. Now we're into December hunts. Mark Coleman's going to be doing, or not Mark, and Adam Wynn's going to be doing some ice fishing.
Yeah.
We talked about boots, right? And we talked about lace-up style as opposed to rubber boots. I myself has kind of transitioned from the lace-ups from when I work around the property or what I'm doing to putting on the rubber boots.
Right.
And then I have a pair for sitting and hunting in, and I have a pair for working in.
Right.
Right? So if anybody wanted to get over to, if you're in the area, you all know Sunrise Archery, proud sponsor of Up North Journal, but they also have Sunrise Boots, which is right next door.
As you can see right there.
Right. And you can go in there, and they've got a whole selection of boots, whether they're Carhartts or Danners or Irish Setters, Red Wings. Red Wings was my first pair of real leather boots. Timberlands, Woods and Stream, and so on. But what have you been doing?
I've wore about half of those.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
you know, what we're going to do is just talk a little bit about what's on our feet and trying to keep them warm. I found that even being zero, the rubber boots, I can keep my feet pretty warm in it.
Yeah. It depends on what I'm doing, honestly. My knockabout boots that I had, this was back years ago, Irish setters, had those things forever. Wore them until they fell off my feet, basically. You know, actually, I bought those in 2013, and I can tell you the exact day I bought them because when we had the house fire, the only thing I had left was what I was wearing, and I had an old pair of tennis shoes that were just ratted out that I'd mow the yard in.
Okay.
And when we went to buy that, you know, the next day we met with the insurance company. We got, you know, a small check to be able to go buy some things. You know, first thing we did is we went and we bought shoes and boots or whatever we needed, and then a few clothes. But I bought Irish setter hiking boots, and I wore them up until, I want to say I think last year was the last year that I wore them. And I actually went to Sunrise and I bought Keens. Not Keens, I'm sorry. I tried Keens on. I got oboes.
Okay.
That's what I wear now. And I love them. You know, the Keens fit real good too. And I can't remember what the difference was between them, but I went with the oboes instead. But and that's the lace-up boot that I use now for knockabout every day. If I'm hiking, if I'm like going to tack when we were shooting tack, that's what I wore.
All right.
You know, climbing the mountain. Anything that involves anything rugged, I'm wearing my lace-up leathers. And then, you know, you mentioned Red Wings. I had Red Wings. That's the first pair of leather boots that I had from years ago. And actually, I think they're still in the garage.
Really?
So, yeah. So
Billy Hoffman, I'll use your comment now. He uses regular work boots with no insulation. He uses wool socks and boot covers. He says they're awesome. He's a foot sissy, and now they never get cold.
Well,
the boot covers are an interesting thing.
That's something I haven't really thought a lot about. I know people use them. I've heard a few people that use them, and when the ones that do, they love them. You know, in my mindset, you know, I went to rubber boots hunting probably 10, 12 years ago. I used to use lace-ups, you know, insulated boots. Wouldn't keep my feet quite warm enough. And then, I got kind of into the scent control game. You know, wanted to, watch my scent. So I went to rubber boots. Everybody said rubber boots is the way to go. And, then you get insulated rubber boots. Then you're getting them, with the Thinsulate and, all the
1,000 grams, 1,500 grams, 500 grams.
Yeah. So I was using them. I was using them on the ice when I was ice fishing. Kept my feet warm.
Adam uses rubber boots with 1,500 grams for hunting and ice fishing.
I understand it for ice. I definitely understand it for ice fishing. And that's what I used to have was lacrosse, and I had 2,000 grams. I remember being on the Saginaw River. It was the middle of February, and we were going to go hit the ice. It was 9 below all day long.
Right.
Driving up to the Saginaw River to meet everybody and get bait, it was 9 below. And it stayed 9 below the whole day.
Right.
And we set out in the open on the river, on a little stool, bucket, whatever, fishing, jigging through the hole. My feet never got cold.
That's what you can only ask for. What and I've lately seen a couple hacks to keep your foot warm with older, bigger socks to put over the boots, which is kind of like the booties thing.
Yeah,
right. Those are kind of cool too if you're going to be planning to sit in.
But I will say, rubber boots, and this is a problem, and this is where I think Billy's comment comes in and supersedes the rubber boots, because if you're hiking in and walking in, doesn't matter what time of the year it is, you break a sweat, you get a little wet. Well, your feet do the same thing. And in a rubber boot, it holds that moisture, then your feet are wet. And what happens then? Then they get cold.
Right. That's why a change of if you're to be out there all day, a change of socks when you get there, change them out. You can probably hang them and they'll probably dry during the day.
Yeah.
And, keep as much moisture out of there as possible.
Absolutely. And a rubber boot, that's a must. And that's where I think, like Billy said, he wears wool socks that wicks the water or the sweat away, the perspiration away. And if they're regular boots, that moisture is going to evaporate out of them.
Right. And what we do is when we get back to camp that evening, we have a boot dryer, and we just flip them, put them on there, turn it on, and let them dry it out. Mark Coleman uses lacrosse as well, 18-inch rubber boots for hunting, and he uses mucks, 14-inch rubber boots for everything else. He rolls the tops down for easy slip on and off. And that is another thing nice about rubber boots is the on-off, just slip your foot in, pull them up.
Yeah.
In October, I like to tuck them in because, the ticks and everything.
Yeah, it makes it nice to be able to tuck pants in. You take and roll and fold them over and just slip your foot in, and then nowadays, obviously a lot of the hunting gear that you wear, the pants, bibs, whatever, they've got zippers, up to the knees on both sides, so that way you unzip it. You can, if you want to wear it over the boot, it makes it real easy getting them on and off as well.
Right, exactly. So, and I've used uninsulated rubber boots for working around the property, actually working around my house as well, and then the insulated ones for hunting. And I did run into a problem with a pair that I bought. Was it last year's pair or 2 years ago? They started cracking.
Okay. I had my older lacrosse did that, but they were probably 10 years old.
And I wasn't happy, so I got some shoe goo, and I filled it in, and it's good to go.
Now, I will say, if you use rubber boots, well, really, this goes with any boot because they got a rubber sole on them. Be very, very cautious using anything that generates ozone around them.
Yeah.
There's people use that for scent control. There's different units that people will use. Outside, there's different units they'll use inside or use in a bag or in a vehicle, whatever. But that will, over time, will start to break rubber down. So you need to be very, very careful about that.
Yep, exactly. So, plus taking care of your rubber boots as well as rather your leather boots. It's just, do you go with one pair of socks or 2 pairs of socks or 4 pairs of socks or 10 pairs of socks?
It depends on the weather. Usually during rifle season, I wear a regular pair of socks, and then I'll put on my scent-lock socks over top of that. Kind of gives me some cushion, keeps it wicking away, and then I got the scent control. But I have noticed, even with doing that, if I break a sweat, my feet stay wet, and that's not good.
Right, exactly, and that's what'll... For sure. How important is tread on boots, or does it really matter?
I think it depends on the terrain you're hunting in.
Yeah, I think it really depends on the terrain you're hunting in. Are you in a sandy situation, rock, stones, ice? It's not going to matter. Mm-hmm. You're going to go flying. You just got to take your time, walk like a penguin.
I know during early season, if I'm not really worried too much about scent control, depending on what type of hunting I'm doing. If I'm doing like small game or whatever, I will wear my Danner boots, and those are just lace-up boots. So, but those will, you're doing a lot of walking in small game situations where you don't have, it helps to get rid of that perspiration.
Right, exactly. Here's an interesting one from Adam. He's had his boots for almost 5 years, and the only thing wrong with them is he says the camo is fading. Interesting. My cousin has a couple pairs of camo boots as well. And he bought this one pair, brand new pair. It was mossy oak tree stand. And literally, because of how it worked, they were almost really white.
Okay.
And literally, when he was coming out of the woods at night,
they'd shine.
He was like a dark figure, and then he had these 2 white pillows on his feet, walking away.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. Then I started really looking at, depending on what fabric it is or what it is, the camo tends to come out differently.
Yeah, I used to be with Mossy Oak for a while, quite a while actually. No longer am. But with that being said, we always talked a lot about patterns running, the different patterns they use, and then what material they run them on. Depending on the material and the color scheme, it could create a shine, depending on what they put that on.
Exactly.
It really depends on the material.
And he was kind of upset because he's like, look, man, I'm perfectly, a darker shade, and I got these 2 glowing things on my feet.
Yeah.
And Adam says that they're fading. I don't think you got to worry about it fading. I don't think the deer's going to care.
I was going to say, the camo, for the most part, is more for us.
Right? Really Mark Coleman says he really likes thick soles with a heel. Having a heel is necessary when climbing into a ladder stand.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, you'll find out why if you don't.
Yep, great point.
Right? That's a great point. And
what I found, talking to guys, and just like sitting here talking with Danny, seeing your guys' comments right now, I can ask, what kind of boots do you wear, or what kind of socks do you wear, and if you ask 100 people, you're going to get 90 different answers.
That's why I literally think you get something in mind, do your homework, whatever. Go out and try them, but don't be afraid to say, okay, I'm going to buy this other pair.
Yeah.
To see what the difference is between a muck boot and a lacrosse or even Wolverine. Yeah. I got a pair of Wolverine boots that are phenomenal. Like you said, you wear them till they fall off.
Yeah.
And it's just trial and error, or going to a place like over at Sunrise there, where you were discussing, what's the difference, and they explained why these are different than these. Or actually, we also had this conversation a few years back when we were at Cabela's, talking to the gentleman there about their boots that they use while working on the cement, walking on the cement floors.
They're there all day.
They were there all day, and they would swear by Keen. He would hands down, Keens are the best. They liked in store, get them in the store as well. So talking to people too is a great thing. It's just you gotta try them. But making that switch is kind of sometimes is like, I don't know. But
people
do it.
People are brand loyal, and there's nothing wrong with being brand loyal. But that's why I went out, like you said, I went out to Sunrise when my Irish setters finally give up the soul, so to speak.
Right.
Literally. And I mean, I wore them every day, for, 13, probably 8-9 years, and maybe close to 10 years. And they just finally give out. But, I've got the oboes now, and I've had them for probably a year and a half, and I wear them all the time. I wear them everywhere I go, except for, like I said, I don't hunt in them. But I've worn them in a lot of different situations. They got a good tread on them. They feel good on my feet, give me good stability. And that's another thing, what are you looking for stability? Do you need like something that's got like an 8-inch wrap on it on the boot, or do you need something a little taller? You just got to go to your local store and give them a try and see what they've got. And that's the thing. Even if you're brand loyal, try something else on. Crispies.
Oh, yeah, right?
The guys that turned us on to them, I mean, those are nice boots.
They are very nice.
It's like wearing
boots.
pillows on your feet if you want to
right?
do, a sneak stalk on deer or whatever. But you get what you pay for.
Right. And another thing, using any type of boot on ice, Adam says you need cleats. On the ice, and tell you the truth, I actually used the ice cleats when I was taking the dogs for a walk.
Okay.
Because when I was walking out in the back and stuff, you'd come across a road, and they weren't really used a lot. And there'd be ice, and I didn't want to go flying, so I would do
Mark
that.
Coleman, I understand why you wear rubber boots for mushroom hunting. That is tick season big time, so that is smart to do. So
right, and I talking over Thanksgiving. Matter of fact, that kind of they hunt up in Hillman. Mm-hmm. And he said this year, for whatever reason, was the worst he's ever seen it for ticks.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know about that, but I've had it other years. But it could have been area dependent, where he was in a new spot. I know that one time we were out turkey hunting and we sat under those pines. And
big mistake.
That was a big mistake.
Big mistake.
But anyways, having those rubber boots tucked in, you try to prevent as much as you can. And obviously everybody, for Mark Coleman for Father's Day, he'd like a pair of boots.
You need to tell Mrs. Coleman about that.
Right? But, then wearing the rubber boots, like whether you're morel hunting, especially turkey hunting, you can be walking and it can be dry, and the next time you're getting into puddles and don't have to worry about your feet getting wet, and it becomes miserable.
So get a good pair of boots.
Yeah, so we
I think the biggest takeaway for me, though, the thing is to think about is getting that perspiration away from your feet, whether it be, even if it's hot weather or cold weather, either way, rubber boots is going to hold that moisture in. That's the big thing, is thinking about getting rid of that moisture.
Getting rid of the moisture, changing your socks if you can, getting your feet out of the boot to let them acclimate and then put them back in is a good idea.
Speaking of socks, how many pair of socks do you wear?
Okay, so I wear 2.5. They're not a full sock. Yeah. Well, because it's so thin. It's like that thin layer sock. It's really thin.
He wears pantyhose.
Not quite, but a thin layer first, and then 2 pairs of wool socks usually.
Gotcha.
And then depending on when it is, it'll be 1 or 2 pairs. And then what we'll do is I'll take an extra pair.
Okay.
And if I feel my feet, extra wet, I'll take them out and I'll switch them out.
So you take extra socks with you in the field. Yeah, smart thing to do.
Well, that it's just, and then if I got the heater going, I can put them over the heater and steam them out.
You're deer hunting, man.
It's all good.
All right.
My feet smell good.
Yeah, okay. On that note, we're going to take a break.
And when we come back...
Danny's got some video to show you.
Yeah, if you have been paying any attention to any kind of news this week, you will see the video that we're going to show here after the break.
One quick thing here. Mark Coleman just said, get the right fit, because if you don't, you will despise wearing boots. And not only that, if you're going to get boots and you're going to wear them to like an event like TAC, make sure you get them soon enough that you can break them in before you go. Otherwise, your feet are going to be sore and blistered.
Okay, so that's a great tip about getting properly fitted boots, because if you're going to be wearing 2, 4, 6 pairs of socks, try them on with that many socks on.
Absolutely.
And don't find out when your first day of hunting is that 2 pairs of socks are pretty tight.
Yeah.
Your feet can't move. There's no air.
Right.
So,
all right, we're going to step outside and take our next break. We'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has always dominated the speed category. Now, the most revolutionary cam system ever to hit the market has perfected the shooting experience. Introducing PSE's Evolve Cam System, featuring extremely high let-off capabilities and the smoothest draw cycle in history. No other cam system has ever delivered this level of total comfort and total control. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
Welcome back. Third segment of the show. I think this will probably be our last segment of the show tonight.
Yeah,
but
kind of a
there's been some critters in the news lately.
Yeah, so I don't know if everybody paid attention watching the news. This happened just a few days ago.
You want me to take that?
You ready?
Yeah, go.
Subdivision. Look at that, right in the city. And a coyote tries dragging a 2-year-old away.
That's in Florida.
And notice the coyote was like, he wasn't very afraid.
No.
So now they're worried about having coyotes. But, I'm amazed at how brazen they become.
Oh, that setting was much like here. Where I
for
am.
sure.
Right on the sidewalk, grabs a hold of a 2-year-old standing by the car, and the dad's right there on the other side of the car. And he comes in, grabs her, and starts dragging her down the sidewalk.
And luckily, for the 2-year-old, that the coyote actually grabbed at her butt,
yeah,
instead of maybe grabbing her by the neck or face.
Yeah, right.
Because then it could have got really bad.
Yeah.
But he threw a water bottle at it.
You know what he was thinking, don't you? When that coyote was thinking?
I'm sure that coyote was thinking.
He was after some baby back ribs. I went there. The girl's okay.
The girl's okay, folks. But he was thinking about baby back.
But seriously, though, I mean...
But that's the thing, right? And then the next day, that was Monday or Tuesday.
The next day,
they showed another video of a girl getting ready to go to school. A raccoon walks up and grabs onto her leg.
Yeah.
She starts screaming. Mom comes out, grabs the raccoon by the scruff of the neck, starts... swinging it around and trying to get it off the leg.
Then it latched onto her arm.
Yeah, then she's doing one of these, and they both ended up having to get shots.
Did they give him rabies shots?
I think so, yeah. And it just it's amazing when these animals get brazen. And at lunch today, matter of fact, we were talking about a possum.
Mm-hmm.
And my coworker had a possum fall into his garbage can. And he went to go throw something out and looks in and it's hissing at him.
Yeah,
right?
he grinned at him.
Oh, he grinned at him. Yeah, it definitely.
Mark's awful, Mike.
Right?
Funny but awful. Sorry, Mark. I had to go there.
And you're right, Tammy. That's one thing. It's kind of funny when this happens. When we're building communities in their habitat.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is going to happen? Right?
Yeah.
So back to the possum. He's like, what do I do with it? So he took it out to the middle of the street and dumped it in the middle of the street. And he kind of took a broom and tried to shoo it away. And it just looked at him and hissed.
Yeah.
Finally, he got it to go away, but it went right to his neighbor's house and climbed into his garage and
that's fine.
Hung out.
Go to the neighbor's house. Go,
right?
Go party at his house.
But it's just one of those things. And whether it be coyotes, raccoons, grinners, right? Snakes.
Yeah.
Well,
out west, scorpions.
Oh, right. Yeah, I watched. I think it was Dirty Jobs, wasn't it? I don't know. It was one of those that they have professional scorpion hunters. They'll come out to your house and they use a night light and.
Oh yeah, because there's something about them that makes them iridescent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just. Mm-hmm. Whew. And we were worried about ticks in Michigan.
Yeah. Well. It is what it is. But no. Yeah, they get a little brazen. They get used to their environment. That coyote. He's probably rummaging, stealing pets through that neighborhood, surviving, and he just saw an opportunity. And you think about a 2-year-old, how little they are. is something they can get a hold. I mean, they pick up fawns, they drag them off.
Right.
You know, it's comparable in size.
Coworker again had a outside cat, and they were, and one day Mr. Coyote decided to take it away.
Yeah. Danny's backyard's a haven for critters. That is true, Mark. What did
we saw a fox.
We saw a fox that night. We were all hanging out.
Yeah.
We were shooting bows.
And then
we were sitting around a campfire.
And a fox goes running through my backyard.
Yeah, like within less than 20 yards from us.
Exactly, right.
And then you had some critter underneath the deck next door that was making some god-awful noise that I've never ever heard before. I think it was, a baby yeti or something.
I think it was the yeti, but I'm gonna bet it was probably a possum.
Yeah,
I don't think it was raccoons. Raccoons don't get that noisy unless they're fighting.
Yeah, it was pretty loud.
Yeah, it was pretty funny actually. We were kind of like, but nobody volunteered to go look at it.
Well, we tried to get Adam to go over and, reach under there and grab it out, whatever it was, but he didn't want to mess with it.
So, but all in all, it's just some odd things that have happened this week, and all caught on video. And these Ring cameras are being great for this.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I saw one, a bear was attacking one of the Christmas blow-ups.
Oh, nice.
Right? So
he's going to get coal in his stocking.
Right? But hopefully we'll get some ice here soon. Get out on the hard water up here in Michigan.
There you go.
But I don't see it happening really soon because I don't think the temperature is going to be taking any nosedives.
I looked at the next 2 weeks temperature-wise, and it's looking like it's going to stay above freezing during the day, a little bit below freezing at night for the next 2 weeks here in Michigan.
Well, you're even thinking about getting out this weekend back out on the waters kayaking. So
yeah, we're going to go. If it's not super windy, we're going to go again, or raining. We're going to go Saturday or Sunday. Probably up towards Bay City and hit some of the canals. Throw the lights back on the boat, get out and have a little Christmas fun.
There you go. Do you think maybe, and it's not really 45 minutes north, but you think you're going to have more ice there in the canals?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't think so. Not what I've seen. Like today.
Yeah,
it was raining.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see any ice here until probably, unless we hit a real cold dip right around Christmas. I still don't think we're going to see any ice until probably the first of the year.
I'm going to agree with you on that, and we'll find out from Adam when he goes up in January. But usually we don't start talking about, hey, we might go out till January, February.
Yeah. So Adam, might want to take your boat just in case.
Let somebody else go first.
Yeah, there you go. So.
But,
that's all we got for tonight. Unless y'all got anything else. I didn't see anything else here in the chat.
Yeah, so we'll come back next week. We'll see what we can rummage up, get somebody on. Other than that, we're barreling towards the end of the year, folks. It's hello 2023.
Well, we got to get through Christmas first. So next week will be the 14th. I'm going to say probably the 21st. We're not going to do a show. That's right before Christmas.
So before Christmas.
We'll take Christmas break off, and then probably looking back in. If we don't do one the following week, we'll jump in right before ATA.
Yeah, we'll probably maybe try to get in a wrap-up show in the next 2 or so and kind of revisit the year and how it went and talk about what we did and start lining people up for next year.
Yep.
Like we talked about the lady duck hunters, try to get them on.
Mm-hmm.
We got some other things we want to get back on. We'd like to get the DNR back on.
Yep. Talk about the project they've done with the numbers.
Yep, and see how that went. I know talking to the DNR here at Richardson's, they said it's on their end, it's going well.
Okay.
So, I think...
You're talking about the app and everything?
Yeah,
okay.
He said the majority of the people are okay.
Okay.
Yes, you get the onesie twosies that are like,
sure. Yep, arguing with them.
Right. So, stay tuned. We'll have some more in our upcoming shows, and we're going to start lining them up for next year.
Do you know, this is the last thought here, who or what place is the biggest processor of deer in the state of Michigan?
The last time I thought I heard, it was the Country Smokehouse.
There you go.
And
we had them at work. They come in a week and a half ago, and they were on our news just doing they're talking about processing deer and their meats and everything that they had. But I did not know that. And they were pushing, I think he said opening day or that week they were doing an average of right at around 300 a day.
And I was watching...
that's a lot of deer.
Michigan Outdoors. And they did, they went to a couple different buck pulls throughout the state. And they ended up over there.
Okay.
And I think my brother took his deer there. But that Saturday, that they were there was the first Saturday. They were lined up.
Okay.
They were literally lined up to go around to the back of the building because they used to have semi-trailers. I don't know what the setup is now.
Yeah. Well, they had that big fire out there a couple years ago, and they've rebuilt now.
Yep.
And they got a real nice facility out there. So
300 a day.
Yeah, I think he said they were averaging right around 300 a day. That's how many deer they were bringing in. First week of rifle season. Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
That's some slicing, dicing, and cutting up.
Yeah. So those boys are busy.
Right?
So.
All right.
Well, folks, that's going to do it for us this week. Like we said, next week, you're going to try to get something going?
Yeah, we'll see what we can.
Okay.
Find somebody.
See what's going on?
Yeah.
So that'll do it for us this week, folks. If y'all get out, if you're going up north and you're looking for ice, I think you're going to have to go way north.
Right?
So take a life jacket with you. So, but everybody out there in the field, if you're out there and you're doing some tree stand hunting here lately, somebody, and I don't remember what state it was, but somebody did pass away. The guy was hunting with his father and fell out, and it killed him.
I was just about to say, being cold weather up here
it's
in
easy
Michigan,
to slip and fall.
December, be careful climbing in, climbing out.
Yep, absolutely.
A little bit of ice on the ladder, or if you're getting onto a deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any kind of platform or anything like that. So
right.
Take your time, be safe. So
yeah, absolutely.
All right, that'll do it for us this week. We'll see y'all again next week.
This episode was brought to you by
PSC Archery,
Deer Camp Coffee,
Buck Baits,
JPO Game Calls,
The Island Armory,
Hacker Max,
Sunrise Archery,
and C3 Better the Hunt Technology.
Thanks for listening, and join us again here next week. Until then, remember, as we always like to say, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe. Until next week on the Up North Journal.